As I, sorry. As I stand here before you all with the honors of opening the curtains on today's debate, a debate which concerns everyone, every single individual present here with us, whether it be a student or an educator. My stress may seem apparent to some of you. And what might be the cause of this stress, you may ask? No, it's not because I'm currently presenting to a big crowd while having the responsibility of presenting my entire class. It is because I've been anxious for a few days now, and that is because I had to deal with preparations. I had to deal with preparations for my upcoming exams, and at the same time, I had to write out my arguments. I had to struggle with finding time to write my arguments. Both which are only 3 days apart, by the way. I've been so worried about whether I could carry on both tasks with the amount of perfection I wanted. With the amount of perfection I wanted, that I spent so many sleepless nights. And I even considered quitting because I was about to go absolutely insane with the amount of work I had. But and all of this for what? For subjects I don't even care about. For lessons I 100% will forget by the end of the year. For a grade that will stay engraved in my CV for the rest of my life, even though it has zero correlation with what I want to do in my future. I am upset. And I know some of you will just say, well, you should just quit, no one's stopping you. And you're right, no one is. But I have decided to channel this anger into my speech today in the hopes of bringing some change. And that is why I'd like to clarify that this speech is purely from heart, as I left the tactical arguments for my teammates in the hands of my trusted teammates. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Sorry for my earlier rant. Let's get back to today's debate. It is imperative for the educational system in Morocco to undergo improvement by narrowing down the range of subjects taught in high school. Heavy on the words imperative and improvement. My teammates and I will be your loyal lawyers today, and we swear that the arguments provided shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. We all, at least once in our lives, thought about how will some certain math lesson, let's take trigonometry for example, serve in our everyday lives. And to be frank, I still haven't found their answer yet. It's because they never will. Why can't we as a society evolve and let students pick their own subjects to study? No one will determine your future but yourself, and your grades, of course. And that is why we should only study things mandatory for our success in life, not just academically. Many students get bad grades on a subject simply because they dislike it. A subject that won't change anything in their life except to hold them down and prevent them from pursuing what they're actually passionate about. You know what they always say, school isn't all about grades. It's about learning. It's a learning experience. And then they go make you study some colonizers' history under the guise of general knowledge while leaving out so many of our own history and culture. It doesn't make sense. Why can't we have a variety of classes to pick from, ones that will actually help us improve in our future, like, for example, culinary class, personal finance, or even health? What we need is a list of classes of sources to pick from, and the students shouldn't be forced to study anything they don't like or has no impact on their future. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by asking you a simple question. Which one do you prefer, a buffet or a normal restaurant? For me personally, I would pick the buffet for very obvious reasons. Now, imagine, if you will, a grand buffet display, endless choices, flavors, and cuisines, each dish representing a subject in our school curriculum. At this metaphorical buffet, you see a rich array of academic dishes, mathematics, literature, sciences, languages, all laid out invitingly. at this metaphorical buffet, let's start by savoring this analogy for a moment. Picture yourself indulging the same buffet, sampling a bit of everything. The sour, the spicy math equations, the sweet, the savory historical narratives, the sweet poetry, the sour scientific experiments, all on one plate. This is exactly the educational experience we advocate for. A diverse, multi-flavored feast of knowledge. Now, contrast this with the idea proposed by our opponents, a normal restaurant with a limited menu offering only a few predetermined dishes. Picture being confined to selecting from just a handful of subjects while missing out on the opportunity to, sample the diverse intellectual buffet that a comprehensive curriculum offers. Esteemed judges, opponents, and your audience again, good morning. In our country, and according to the Ministry of Education's official website, the secondary education aims, in addition to consolidating the knowledge acquired in the previous study cycle, to, and I quote, diversify the fields of learning in order to offer new paths for success and integration into students' professional and social life. This goal highlights the deliberate effort of the education authorities to expand the range of subjects taught during high school. The objective is to provide students with practical skills, various practical skills that suit different interests, talents, and future aspirations. This approach aligns with the belief that a diverse curriculum significantly contributes to students' overall development. It recognizes that a more narrow, limited approach would restrict students' potential. Therefore, the Ministry's emphasis on diversification in education aims to equip students with the adaptability and versatility needed to thrive in their future careers. Furthermore, numerous reputable national and international universities, take the prestigious University of Nottingham in the UK as an example, emphasize a crucial trend in employer preferences. According to them, employers are progressively seeking students who embody a versatile skill set. They prioritize candidates who demonstrate adeptness in navigating change, the ability to think critically and promptly apply various concepts across different domains. Moreover, Ken Robinson, known for his famous TED Talk, The School's Kill Creativity, highlighted the significance of academic diversity in education. He critiqued the education system's focus and emphasis on academic ability and its impact on developing arts and other subjects. He advocated for a shift towards nurturing more diverse and dynamic forms of intelligence, and narrowing down the range of subjects taught in high school would be the audience by no means a way to reach this future of which he speaks. In fact, following our opponent's instructions would worsen the situation, leading to a more academics-focused education. Dear audience, the more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Thank you.
Mahatma Gandhi once said, live as if you were to die tomorrow, learn as if you were to live forever. Do you believe our children receive a quality education when faced with a lot of unnecessary lessons, numerous assignments, extensive homeworks, and the added stress to the many exams? Ladies and gentlemen, let us dwell on this pattern as it truly deserves our attention. These potential doctors, engineers, teachers, artists that meant to contribute to our future, for a better life, better situation, and a better future. Dear audience, honorable juries, and dear member of the opposition, no one can deny the fact that the Moroccan educational system faces several challenges. According to Maroc Poema, if we take 100 child in 2019, 100 of them go to school in primary school. By 2020, 2021, only 92 go in middle school. However, now there is only 69 in high school. And we don't know how many of us will end up in college or university. And I know their opponents that is better than the previous years, but according to people, the main problem that they face when it is not extreme poverty, sickness, or infrastructure issues is how the program is charged. Although our government finally understood that, because back in 2014, the Minister of the Education proposed the new school for the citizens of tomorrow, which is a project for 2013 that allows schools to provide for all students a good quality of education by reducing classes and homeworks and focusing on languages, especially Arabic and soft skills depending on the students' capacity and preferences. And trust me, guys, this plan will have great results if it is well implicated. And now, I'm going to tell you a story about two siblings who live in Fqih bin Saleh, Tahami and Fuzia. Tahami and Fuzia, both of them dropped out in middle school because the program was too charged. Fuzia started working as a house cleaner in people's house where she might have been raped. And Tahami worked as a helper in a factory. And of course, all of the other employees took advantage from his little age. By the years, Fuzia now is married to an old man who hits her every day, and Tahami is starving if he's honest, or else he's killing and stealing. Dear member of the juries, dear audience, we don't want more cases like Tahami and Fuzia. But now we have the solution. The choice is yours. Also, according to UNICEF, without quality education, children face considerable barriers in employment later in life. They're more likely to suffer adverse health outcomes and less likely to participate in decisions that affect them, treating their abilities to shape a better future for themselves and for their society. See, dear opponent, I don't know how you still think that there is nothing to change. If you do, then there is two options. It's either you're in a big denial, or you just want to be the only ones privileged because the Iraqi school provides everything for you. And I know that you think that by narrowing the scope of subjects taught in high school, it's only going to slow us down. But as Confucius said, it doesn't matter how slow you go as long as you don't stop. Also, Plato said, do not train a child to learn by force or hardships, but direct them to it by what amuses their minds, so that you might be better able to discover with accuracy and the peculiar bent from the genius of each. See, dear audience, dear opponents, and dear members of the jury, by not narrowing the scope of subjects taught in high school, there's only going to be a big mess later in life. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed judges and fellow participants, I stand today to address a matter of utmost importance, a subject that not only shapes our intellectual landscape, but also defines the very essence of our educational journey. All of us, let's assume education as the universe of Spacetoon, our new TV channel, where each subject is a planet, and each planet is a unique facet of learning. Knowing that, Action Planet offers an adrenaline-packed exploration of learning. Sport Planet is a field for teamwork. Adventurous Planet guides curiosity. Comedy Planet brings joy to subjects with characters like the Pink Panther and Tom and Jerry. And Zumurruda, just for girls Planet, a jewel of creativity, keeping our educational universe in Moroccan high schools diverse. Will, just like planets on Spacetoon, will ensure a fun and engaging journey for all of us as high schoolers. According to James A. Banks' book called Cultural Diversity and Education, a diverse curriculum ensures exposure to various cultural perspectives, fostering global awareness and empathy among students. Education is not just about acquiring knowledge. It's a passport to understanding the rich tapestry of global cultures. A curriculum that includes a breadth of subjects becomes a bridge connecting students to diverse worldviews, preparing them to be informed and compassionate global citizens. The magic of innovation happens when we connect the dots in unexpected ways. By nurturing a curriculum that embraces diverse subjects, we're essentially creating a playground for the imagination, where groundbreaking ideas sprout from the fertile soil of cross-disciplinary exploration. Should we confine our students to narrow corridors of knowledge? Or should we open the doors to vast landscapes where mathematics dances with arts and science swells it with philosophy? Are we not, in a sense, depriving them of the grand adventure that is education? Here's a poetic verse by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. As Robert Frost contemplated the divergent roads, let us also consider the unexplored paths where subjects converge. For here it is that the essence of education may unfold. In the movie Dead Poets Society, Mr. Keaton passionately declares, "We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race." Similarly, we don't study diverse subjects for mere academic convenience. We do so because it is fundamental to our emotional and intellectual evolution. Thank you.
Dear judges and dear spectators, we have heard magnificent arguments today, and I have heard especially one. School is a magnificent buffet, and you will all choose it. But do you truly choose everything in the buffet? There is good foods, and there is sour foods. People certainly will love some good foods and some sour foods, and he ever contradicted himself. And it is about specialization. As a normal person who is mentally sane, you will go in a buffet and choose something that you will love. Like, let's say, for example, if you love science, you will choose maths, physics, and science. If you love more literature, you will choose Arabic, French, and literature, languages, English, and etc. So this is why. Why should I bother with learning things I don't want, especially from high school? Like, let's say from middle school and primary, we can learn everything. Like, it's good, you know, it's a buffet. But from high school, you specialize. From ninth grade, you have two choices, or multiple choices. You can choose, in the general cases, you choose either science or literature. So why in high school should I learn...
Accepted? In what way do you think that picking and choosing in subjects will really improve the educational system?
Because it's in high school you will choose your own future. Because in high school you choose your own future, your path to the future, not something that's secondary like general culture. Because after you will learn it yourself. In middle school, maybe learn it, but not in high school. That's your future in hand. Let me continue now. All right, let me continue. You will certainly tell me the argument of it's general culture. Oh my God. It's silly, it's silly. General culture is not forced. Because for 1 hour and a half, I'm sitting there in history, fighting my own sleep paralysis demon, then concentrating on focusing on what the boring teacher is saying about, I don't know, the Nazis. They're dead, I don't care. So, this is first of all, by narrowing the range of subjects in Morocco, first of all, we are more focused on things that we chose for ourselves. Second of all, the level of stress will go below, because personally right now I am stressed of learning Surat Yusuf than for the final exam, than I don't know, doing equations for and learning physics to have a good base for the next year.
Let me ask you a question. Don't you think that what could be uninteresting to you could be interesting to some other people? For example, history is uninteresting to you, but it could be interesting to me or someone else. What do you think about this?
Basically, if you're interested into history or, I don't know, Islamic education, go specialize in it. What are you doing in science? But in general, it's not for everybody. Let me continue again. Sorry for the interruptions from them. All right. So imagine with me, you are a surgeon. Let's say I am a surgeon and I'm operating on someone. Am I going to operate on him, or I'm going to start reciting about the Arabs and what they did? No. So I hope you all understand with me how important it is to change the educational system in Morocco. That's why it's so important. So thank you so much for giving me your attention, and thank you.
Now, imagine you've graduated high school. You got your diploma, and now you're thinking that you finally got that one piece of paper that differentiates you from the others. When, in fact, you are 250,000 Moroccan people, 250,000 students who think they're unique, who took the same exams, the same subjects, and all their life revolves around is their academic achievements. Come on, the world is changing, people. Honorable jury, esteemed guests, fellow students, members of the opposition, I'm standing for the first, but surely not the last time, to address a rising new order of limiting the number of subjects taught in Moroccan high schools. In a globalized world where versatility already lacks and where people are figuring out how to go to Mars, we are debating the number of subjects that should be taught to improve the educational system. Yes, you heard me right. In a world where it is sometimes not enough to have a perfect GPA, to have founded a non-governmental organization, or even crafted a spaceship, we are looking to reduce or to narrow down the range of subjects, or better said, limit the potential of young students. I'm sorry? By canceling... Oh.
Yes. Hello.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, my dear, but don't you think that... I'm sorry to burst your bubble, my dear, but don't you think that the world is currently governed by specialists and not generalists?
I can't quite hear you right.
Okay, I'm going to repeat this one more time. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, my dear, but don't you think that the world is currently governed by...
I'll leave it to later. You can ask me later on the second intervention. Great. By cancelling a curriculum that includes a wide range of subjects that helps these students to academically be more competitive on the international stage, as well as prepare them to life. Not everyone aims for Harvard or other Ivy Leagues, I must say, but what about the other colleges and universities who seek students who are well-rounded academically, as well as have a diverse skill set? Studies conducted by Drexel universities emphasize my very words, as fostering awareness around teaching diverse subjects helps these students thrive in an exponentially diverse world. Now, you might be thinking, Harvard this, international that, but really, think about it. The government is trying to improve the educational system for a reason. Every year, 100,000 Moroccan students leave to pursue higher education abroad, as per the UNESCO. Exactly. And some of you who are still not convinced may be thinking, what about the reduced academic pressure, or perhaps the better teacher quality? But what many of you don't see is the demotivation of certain students, those who have a certain aptitude or a hobby or passion towards those excluded subjects. As for the teachers, what about their decreased job opportunities, or even the negative career downward? Thank you.
Before I commence my... Before I commence my my speech, my storytelling, I'm just going to bring you back into earth because it appears that you're living in La La Land. I'm very sorry to tell you this, but have you ever heard of the Pareto principle? It's a mathematical principle that guarantees that 80% of the consequences are due to 20% of the causes. My friend, it turns out that the food in your buffet that constitutes your body, your physical body, is only 20% of the food, not the entire buffet. Surprise, surprise, ladies and gentlemen, it turns out that trigonometry, Victorian literature, doesn't actually turn you successful. Now, back into my story. Once upon a time, in a city so sublime, in Marrakesh, a child was born. A symphony of potential, a canvas of unexplored hues. It was evident that this child, within his very first breath, carried within his very tiny fingers the seeds of creativity. In the early days, his laughter echoed like a melody throughout the house. The crayons became his companion, and the walls his gallery. Each brushstroke, a declaration of independence, an act of rebellion against the monotony of the blank pages. With every brushstroke, his creativity showed. His parents marveled at his gifts. His relatives declared him a prodigy. But the world, with its well-intentioned but misguided wisdom, said that brilliance just wasn't enough. It beckoned him into the hallowed halls of education, where the cacophony of subjects awaited, and it stripped him away from his inner voice, like a child being stripped away from his mother. And the journey on the highway to hell began. Mathematics became a dragon to slay, linguistics a maze to navigate, science an enigma to unravel. Every subject took a piece of his time. No, more than that. A slice of his innocence. No, even more than that. A fragment of his creativity. Days turned into nights as he toiled under the weight of knowledge. Subjects. Days turned into nights as he toiled. Yes, my dear? Days turned into nights as he toiled under the weight of knowledge. Every turn, every move, every word he said became devoid of any creativity. The walls that once echoed with his laughter now bore witness to the struggle of a spirit ensnared. I think you all know where I'm going with this. This tale is mine. And it's not just mine. It's the tale of thousands of others. We are the martyrs of the system, my friends. The martyrs of the system made to mold you into a cog. A cog to be placed in the capitalistic system made to use you, destroy you. I am here to free you, my friends. Hallelujah! Rejoice! I am here to free you from the chains of your mind. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, honorable members of the jury, dear opponents, greetings. After all the amazing interventions given by both teams, you may expect me to pull an endless, spotless, clean charade of me convincing you on how narrowing the numbers of subjects will actually, or won't, actually improve our educational system. Yet, now that I'm standing in front of this audience, all that seems to be seeping through me is one nostalgic memory from 8 years ago. Back when I was 10, I used to view the adult world to be this beautiful, hazy image of freedom and ease. Back when I thought that my high school years would be my golden era, and back when every birthday, one step closer to 18, seemed like the epitome of joy in my grand comeback in the empirical world. Back when reality didn't slap me in the face, and back when I was still living in my self-proclaimed dream. Story time. Last week, I decided to take an act on cool adulthood activities such as managing my own allowance. So I went to the store and had in mind to buy one single blue pen. Right. But me being the teenager that I was, I came out of the store with a helmet, a stack of stickers, dog food, even though I don't own any pets. And that is just because I had the financial ability to buy them, where they were in fact things that I never needed. So I started thinking to myself, why don't we learn personal finance at school? Or why don't we learn how to pay taxes? Or how is it that we don't learn how to live in society? Because the last time I checked, a third-degree math equation or a one-sided chemical reaction never taught me how to live. Yes, my dear audience, you heard me. Live in. Because in an intense curriculum of me only being a student, molded into becoming an empty shell with enough knowledge to get a diploma, my life doesn't really end or resume after high school. So narrowing was never an option. In fact, yes?
What does learning how to live have to have, what's the relation between that and our subject?
Well, if you have enough patience, I will continue on my speech and I will be answering your question further.
Thank you.
Well, how is it that I do not learn how to live in school? Because me, as a student, is only molded to be someone else with knowledge to get a diploma, right? So, narrowing was never an option, yet it's a necessity to add subjects to our curriculum for us to be complete human beings, intellectual human beings. One way to improve our educational system is by this one technique called disciplinary problem solving. This technique is about embracing different subjects and finding cross-disciplinary solutions for us to find solutions for real-life complex issues such as climate change. Well, an experience done by two public institutions in Singapore by middle school students aged 14 and 15 and 16-year-old students in high school maintained that using cross-disciplinary solutions such as trying to find an impact on the environment and social changes had made its way through our papers and showed us that actually giving new subjects to our students will help them increase their potential and in this fact will help them be intellectual human beings. Thank you.
Earlier, the member of opposition said that choosing subjects will only limit the potential of students. The potential of students was already limited since there exists barriers and limits on the subjects taught, and since we're forcefully feeding them information. Now, anyways, we're all familiar with the strikes currently going on, led by the teachers of public schools, right? And we're all familiar with what results that came with. And now we need a solution. We're faced with a huge problem. We need to find a way to make these students pass exams when they haven't even studied these subjects, simply because our educational system insists on making students learn about 30 lessons by heart and remember every single detail of the same 3 books. And might I add, extremely boring, and that's coming from someone who's passionate about literature. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, apparently our dear opponents have a problem with my buffet, which exactly proves my previous point. Now, you said the world is governed by specialists and not generalists. Well, sorry to break it to you, but without this general knowledge that you despise so much, you wouldn't make it outside the walls of this school. You wouldn't have much of a social life after all. General knowledge lets you interact with other people. Take as an example the recent Palestine war, the Israelo-Palestinian conflict. I think here it shows very well how the history that you learned and that you were uninterested in, it helped you take a stance in this debate, this everlasting debate that we hope to end very soon. That's it. Thank you, dear audience.
Dear audience, I want to respond to a leader of opposition. As my teammate Barao said, general knowledge should not be forced by the system. You should acquire it by yourself. So this is not general knowledge anymore. And also, we all know that the Moroccan system copies a lot from French system, and it doesn't work. So let's take another empire who ruled the world by their power and their educational strategies, the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire, the Ottoman Empire ruled the world with their educational under this motto: here, no fish will be forced to fly, and no bird will be forced to swim. And as I said, they really ruled the world by their strategy, and we should try it. Since we're always copying, let's try this now. So, thank you.
Today, as we dive into the discussion on the spectrum of subjects, let us imagine education as the enchanting world of Harry Potter. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry offers a diverse curriculum, from potions to defense against the dark arts. A mix of subjects, like spells and history, creates well-rounded wizards ready to conquer life's challenges with creativity and resilience. Education is not a destination. It is a lifelong journey. By immersing students in a multitude of subjects, we are igniting a curiosity that transcends graduation, preparing them to thrive in a world where the only constant is change. Thank you.
I'm sorry, dear PG leader, but this is a real life, not Hollywood. So let me tell you something. The live proof of narrowing actually improves this is in our school. As we all know, in first baccalaureate and second baccalaureate, and especially in first baccalaureate, in the end of the year, especially in May, we remove all scientific subjects like math, science, physics, philosophy, and English too, because we won't need them in the final exam. And two, for the second baccalaureate, we remove all literacy subjects like history, geography, education, Islamic education, and Arabic, because we won't need them. It's silly to actually, we're gonna bother ourselves with that. We won't need it in the end after all. So think with me on let's make Morocco great again, guys.
Dear opponents, while you are criticizing the arguments given by our Prime Minister about the buffet, which exactly explains our educational system in simple terms, where are your arguments? I haven't heard a single research, study, statistics for scientific students, no less. Dear audience, we meet again. This time, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. It is imperative for the educational system in Morocco to undergo improvements by narrowing down the range of subjects taught in high schools. This time, perhaps we should look into it from within instead of debating about the range of subjects, as our country has recently taken a loan of $300 million to said improve the educational system. Thank you.
My dear, I think you suffer from short-term memory loss, because my friend here has given plenty of statistics to support his arguments. So, to conclude this excursion and hike upon the great mountain of lies the opposition has built for us today, I'm going to give you a real argument. And this time, open your ears and listen well. The man, the myth, the legend, John D. Rockefeller. He is the one who purported the modern educational system. And he made it so that a multitude of subjects was made with very good intention. The intention of turning you into a cog. And he said it himself. I don't want a nation, I quote, I don't want a nation of thinkers, I want a nation of workers. So, as the credits roll on this amazing debate, since you like movies so much, I'm going to reference movies. Your arguments have been like a bad horror movie, predictable, full of cliches, and leaving everyone to know why they wasted their time. So I just want you to find solace in knowing that even Hollywood sometimes produces flop. And goodbye, and may your future performances be more Oscar-worthy. Goodbye!
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not really here to make small talk or know about what your least favorite subject is, but I'm here to make a statement phrase and tell you that narrowing was never really an option, as I said earlier, but we need to find ways to add more subjects to our curriculum. If schools offered a wider range of classes and subjects from the very beginning of your education, the adult you may become later on in life will become less of a minefield for the rest of the generation. Thank you.